In this video, we'll be talking about market challenges. One such challenge is the unequal distribution of wealth. So ways that some believe will create economic justice are equality of opportunity and equality of conditions. Equality of opportunity is the belief that equality is the equal opportunity to exercise different talents and abilities in the market system. These folks are proponents of limited government involvement. They prefer to rely on talents and abilities. So the more you can do, the more you can make. So they want a limited government involvement. Basically only the government should be there to help keep people honest. Some people don't have the same opportunities and talents as their opposition. And so this comes in with equality of conditions. Others believe that they believe that equality is when all things are made equal, such as wealth and property, or in other words, that the success of the market system must be shared by all and not just by those who had the talents and means required to be successful. They're all about a progressive tax, which is a procedure in which the amount of taxes you have to pay is reflected by how much you earn and are able to spend. So the more you make, the more you pay in taxes. And these guys are all about governmental involvement. In fact, they think that entitlement programs are the way to go. These are government programs that are designed to help overcome the effects of the unequal distribution of wealth. Economically disadvantaged people who qualify for these programs have a right to receive these benefits. For example, Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Let's just clarify that these entitlement programs are like piggybacking off of the government, which is something that the leaders of the church have asked us not to do. They say that we should practice provident living and be self-sufficient. Some other market challenges are inflation. Inflation is the rise of costs for goods and services that leads to the decline in the worth of the dollar. So think about like your grandparents talk about how things used to be so cheap and now they're like uber expensive. This is an example of inflation. Deflation, on the other hand, is the declining prices when prices decline and the value of money increases because money buys more. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Bonds are debt investments in which an investor loans money for a defined period of time and at a fixed interest rate to an entity that needs to borrow money. A recession, which is another market challenge, is a general slowdown or decline in economic output. A depression is a larger and more serious decline in economic output. A recession starts because of slow production. Businesses can't afford to pay all their employees because they're not getting as much income, so they lay off people, and so then peeps have no income, and so they can't purchase goods and services. So then more peeps lose their jobs, like the people who are providing those goods and services, and all this leads to a slowdown in the economy. And if it gets too bad, then this can lead to a depression, which is what happened in the 1930s. Some factors behind that we're going to talk about 9 of them. The misapplication of fiscal and or monetary policy, inaccurate decisions made about trends in future markets, production of more goods and services than the current market required, reduced investment in future research and development, taking profits now rather than investing them for the future, a decline in demand of products, workers have no income to purchase anything, surpluses begin to multiply, and the last one is national or world crises, things such as wars, famines, and natural disasters. Now there are a few different ways you can try to get out of a depression. We're going to talk about monetary policy, fiscal policy, and Keynesian policy. Monetary policy is when the Federal Reserve uses various methods to control money supply. So they decide how much money is created and brought into the economy. This includes influencing interest rates and buying and selling government bonds and securities. Fiscal policy is a combination of government spending and taxing to both stimulate production and balance out the ups and downs in the economy. This is controlled by the President and Congress. Keynesian policy which was created by John Maynard Keynes, is the idea that the government should use its borrowing and spending power to increase demand and encourage production. So say that you were going to try to use fiscal policy to get us out of a depression. You would lower the taxes and raise government spending in an effort to stimulate the economy. If you're going to use Keynesian policy, then you would increase your borrowing and spending to increase demand and stimulate production. This obviously isn't a long-term policy. It would just be used until the economy is back on its feet, and then you would go back to raising the taxes and decreasing spending to create the balance again. This is just a little bit about market challenges.